Hi, how are you doing? I'm doing as good as ever, and I realize that I'm a little bit late to this topic because the finale of The Amazing Digital Circus came out quite a while ago. Not too long ago, but it was this month, in the beginning of this month. I went to see it in theaters. Wow, what an amazing experience. The main reason I want to talk about this is the whole problem with the people who watched it when it was leaked. I really don't appreciate people who watch leaks. Me and my friend and another person, we're going into the theaters to watch it, and we're all big fans of this show. I went from watching the very first episode with my friend 3 years ago to watching the finale just earlier this month, and it was quite a journey. But before the day that it came out in theaters, we watched it on that very day that it came out in theaters. All the talk about the finale was that it was so bad. We hated it. It was the dumbest ending ever. It could not be worse. Blah blah blah. Boo. Tomatoes, tomatoes. And I already had this feeling that it could not be that bad. I mean, how do you mess up an ending? I feel like I'd be fine with any finale. I had my predictions. I thought they were going to escape. Spoiler alert if you for some reason haven't seen the ending yet. They don't escape. It's kind of weird. You probably already know if you're watching this video. I was very satisfied with the ending. I thought it was a very bittersweet ending. So nice. They get the best of both worlds, I guess. And it's a little bit scary, but at the same time, maybe the real Amazing Digital Circus was the friends we made along the way. I thought that was a nice ending. I think the problem really was all of the people that watched the leak, because I did not see a single good review of it. Maybe I just didn't look good enough, but I did not see one good, honest review of the ending that was positive about the finale. And I think that's just the problem with people who watch leaks. I'm so sorry, but I'm not sorry. Actually, disrespectfully, if you watch something before it comes out, like leaked, I think you suck. I'm sorry. Not sorry. You should. Why? Why? Why can't you just be like everybody else? I'm just kidding, but that's not really the reason why I hate that. It's just you can be more patient and watch it with everybody because you're part of this community that is the fan base of a show and or a movie or something like that, and you decide, well, I'm gonna be faster than everybody and I'll watch it before and then I'll tell everybody that it sucked and then I'll spoil everything. There were so many spoilers. I did not look at anything. I think I saw one, maybe, which I already expected. I think it was Jax abstracting. There were people spoiling left and right after the leak came out of the 9th episode. I'm just, why? Why would you ruin the experience for everybody else? That's just scummy behavior. And oh, you're taking this too seriously. It's just a kids show. It's just a cartoon. I can take things as seriously as I want. Okay. Because this is a big deal for some people. If something's not a big deal to you, that doesn't mean it's not a big deal at all. If you don't care about something, others might care. So don't be so selfish. Don't watch leaks and then spoil everything to everybody. Why would you do that? So after this little rant about people who watch leaks and then spoil everything to everybody, let me tell you about what I thought of the finale. Amazing. Digital Circus. I really did not expect to get emotional. Well, I thought maybe I might get a little sad, shed a tear, but I was not really crying until I looked at my friend and they were doing that, the meme from, I forgot which movie it is. I think it's a horror movie with the black guy that's looking and he's crying. That was them. That was my friend, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I felt bad because if somebody else is crying, I feel like I should cry too. I don't know if that's the empath somewhere deep in me, like somewhere like really, really in there, like that person rarely gets out. I'm lying. But I started crying too. I was like, this is so beautiful. I think the big moment for me when I started breaking down was, I mean, I was crying before this a little bit too, like shedding tears, as you know, a good friend does, I guess. Um, the moment that I really started shedding tears and crying was when Kane was in this little, when Kane came back, um, and it was in this little space, whatever, the empty space, and then it he I don't know Kane's pronouns, it's an AI, I don't care. He started building, you know, the little steps. He tried breaking through this firewall, kind of the barriers that, I don't know, I've never felt this emotional for a clanker. I might have, but wow, that was interesting. What really confuses me was why that happened to Kane, because he's an AI, right? And the whole time it was like impossible to convince this AI because it's just the way it's programmed. It's just the way it's supposed to behave. That it's confused why nobody is liking its adventures. And suddenly he makes the conscious decision to expel that blue part of him, which somehow makes him better. I'm not sure. But that stopped him from being able to create. I'm not sure why he couldn't just have this change of heart and keep the blue part of himself. It was a little confusing. Nevertheless, it was a pretty emotional thing for me. I don't like AI, as you might know. I'm kind of an opposer to it. And generative AI is my biggest issue. If AI is curing cancer, that's amazing, but if it's trying to make anything other than that, no thank you. I have a lot of issues with it. However, AI characters or robots in movies and shows in like Star Wars or other media that involves robots that are meant to be like characters that you feel something towards, and they might be your favorite characters. You might have some kind of emotional connection to them. I think that's a different thing. I think that's fine because you like them as characters, not as AI, because AI is fake. But so are like all the characters. If I don't know how to explain this, if you get what I'm saying, like suppose somebody's saying, "Oh, you like this character, but he's an AI. He's not real. He's fake." Okay, cartoon characters or characters in movies in general, do you realize that they're all fake? Like none of these people are actually real. They're just actors. You know, they're getting paid. They're paid actors. So none of these characters are actually legitimate. So that's a completely different thing. Which is why I felt emotional watching that scene with Kane doing the thing. If it was in real life, it was a real situation, I would not care. I don't know why I feel the need to justify myself for this, because I just had this thought in my head. I kind of went off the rails, I realized that. But I was thinking about this. I don't like AI, I don't support it. But there's characters in shows and movies that are robots that I do like. So how does that work? And I see there's a difference between those things. So that was just another little rant. My video just consists of little rants bunched up together. So yeah, I like Kane as a character. I think he's a very cool guy. In the finale, he did redeem himself. It was a little bit emotional seeing all of that. I think he was just a very nice, bittersweet, kind of very happy to see the real people in the ending actually living their lives and being regular humans. I'm glad they're all safe. It was not as dark as I think everybody imagined it to be, because I feel like everybody expected it to be much, much worse. but it ended pretty well. The critiques that I have with it are that the finale was a little bit, there were some slightly cringy parts, which I can totally forgive, because the whole show is a little bit, it's got that like, I'm just so angry about, I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? Is just this cartoony vibe, which is totally fair because it's a cartoon, so what do you expect from a cartoon show? Other than the characters acting cartoony. Like that one scene with Jax, where he's like, "You are my playthings." It's just, you're seeing into the dark parts of my twisted mind. That was just such an edgy scene, so dark and twisted. It was just funny. And what I'm talking about in the finale is two things, where they show the people at the bus station where they all get together. I think the actors were amazing, but I think they were acting a little bit like cartoon characters, like I thought they would be. I think Gangle was doing a bit too much, but I think it's just no hate on her. I think it was cartoony, which is totally fine. And then in the very, very ending, before the credits, where Pomni does the little, where she looks at the camera and she does the little wave thing. Oh my gosh. That was just, that was silly. It made me kind of cringe out, but in a good way. There's good cringe. Sometimes there's good cringe. There's bad cringe and there's good cringe. And I think that was good cringe. It was like a good ending to a cartoon. And I think that was pretty fun. I don't want a season 2. That would suck. I don't think that would be a good idea. But what would be cool if they made more shorts about the characters living their life in this new world that they themselves created. I think that would be pretty awesome. One last thing that I'm kind of confused about. If Kane's no longer able to create, how's everybody else able to create? Are they? Did I miss something? I feel like I did, but anyway, that was my review of the Amazing Digital Circus finale. Share your thoughts with me. I really want to know what everybody else thought. If you watched it, if you didn't watch the leak, if you watched it in actual theaters or streamed it or watched it on YouTube or something, and you didn't like it, feel free to tell me. And if you didn't like it, I think that's fine. There's some fair criticisms, but my taste is kind of whack, so I don't know. I kind of like everything, almost everything, so feel free to share, and I'll see you very, very soon. Everbearkins, over and out.